Citizens Advice Bucks, have found that scammers are taking advantage of the cost of living crisis to steal from people across the county. Citizens Advice Bucks provides advice and tips on how to avoid falling victim of scammers and can give support through their National Consumer Helpline. I'm very pleased to say we can hear from Thalia Jervis, who's the charity's Chief Executive, to find out a bit about some of these scams that people are falling victim to.
We hear from people with a huge range of difficulties around scams, and scams can come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, from telephone calls to emails to social media approaches. So there's really no one size fits all. We need to be kind of looking out whenever anybody kind of contacts us in a way that we don't expect. We have seen an upsurge recently of scammers pretending to be energy companies. So what scammers tend to do is they take advantage of the kind of latest crisis to devise a new way of persuading us to give them our hard-earned money. So clearly with the energy crisis going on, that's provided an opportunity for them. They've also been exploiting the fact that the government's currently offering support, so approaching people looking to give them that support ostensibly, but obviously really just asking them for their personal details so that they can be scammed. So, the scammers move faster than we can possibly imagine. So it's really important just to keep an eye out across everything that's going on.
And it does feel increasingly difficult to be able to tell the difference between someone who is a scammer and someone who is genuine.
Oh, you are so right. It is so difficult. But there are some things that we can do to make sure that we do stay safe. And we know that everybody's vulnerable to scams. However kind of confident you think you are in kind of managing and identifying a scam, lots and lots of people do fall victim. We know that scammers tend to kind of target those who are kind of 55 plus. But actually it's those who are 34 and below who are most likely to fall victim for a scam. But whatever age you are, there are a number of things you can do to protect yourself. The first one is just don't be rushed into making any quick decisions. If someone's putting a lot of pressure on you to do something, make a decision, just step back. You don't need to make that decision straight away. Put the phone down, move away from whatever engagement you're having, go away and have a think, talk to someone you trust, perhaps a member of your family or a friend. Take a bit of time to do a bit of research, give yourself a cooling off period, and just don't make any quick decisions. Don't give money or personal details like passwords or bank details to anyone you don't know, particularly people you've only met online. Again, if someone pressures you, it's really likely to be a scam. So just don't hand personal information out. Before you buy things, check the company or the website you're using. People do set up really clever fake websites. So check the internet address, the URL. If you're getting worried, you can look for the company's details on Companies House, look at their terms and conditions. So if you are going on to a website you haven't used before, do make sure that you're checking it out. Also, don't click or download on anything you don't trust. I mean, I'm constantly getting emails through telling me that I've won all sorts of amazing prizes. All I do is I delete those emails as soon as they come through. Obviously, make sure your antivirus software is up to date if you're online. That's a really important thing to do. And make sure that you're using strong passwords. So just, particularly when you're online, it's a whole new world out there for many of us. So really do stay safe. And if you are worried, do get in touch with a trusted source. So you can contact Citizens Advice Consumer Service, and we always pass on details of any scam to trading standards. And if you have been scammed, you can report that to Action Fraud.
And obviously one of the main concerns people must have that they come to you with is whether they can get money back if they've parted with their cash.
Yes. So the first thing you should do if you've been scammed is to contact your bank immediately to let them know what's happened. And also, obviously, remember to change any kind of login details and check for any viruses if you were scammed on a computer. But contact your bank straight away, because there might be ways you can get money back. So if you've paid for something by card, bank transfer, direct debit or PayPal, then you might be able to get get your money back. So there is a chance there, and that would be another thing that we would recommend is if you are paying for something, do pay for it by card. Don't use kind of money transfers, and definitely don't kind of hand over cash, because there are protections involved if you are using certain types of payment.
Are there particular common questions that you get from people with regard to scams?
I think the most common question that we get is how to recognise it. And, as I've said, there are kind of hints and pointers that things might be a scam, but, there's no kind of one-size-fits-all answer as to how you recognise a scam. And again, that's why we all just kind of need to be on the alert. And we know that scams are on the rise. And based on some research we did about 5 months ago, over 2/3 of adults have been targeted by a scam. And as I said, I'm constantly getting emails through. I also get telephone calls to my house with people saying that they know my computer is broken and they can help me fix it. And again, these are often just scams. So the best thing to do is just to put the phone down.
It sounds obvious, doesn't it? But just to be really vigilant and suspicious of anything which doesn't quite feel right.
Yeah, I know, and it's really unfortunate that we have to be like this. But the scammers are getting away with huge quantities of money. So it's just really important that we do keep an eye out, and that if you do know someone who's vulnerable or who isn't used to shopping online or whatever, that you talk to them about this. And you pass on this information if you've been able to hear it. And clearly, if you have been scammed or you think that you've identified a scam, then you can report that, and that will help Action Fraud, Citizens Advice and other people kind of alert people to the kind of scams that are going on at the moment. So, for example, the ones around energy that I talked about earlier. And also, talk to your friends and relatives. The more we can all encourage people to stay alert and stay vigilant, the better.
And really important to be aware, as you say, that they're targeting people who might be struggling with the cost of living, for example, with regard to energy bills or other areas of their personal finance, like you say, with their broadband, for example.
Yes, yeah. I mean, these people have no conscience. If there is a reason why people will be more vulnerable and more desperate, they're going to exploit that. And, as we move forward and things become harder, as energy prices continue to rise, the cost of living continues to rise, the scammers are going to be there waiting, offering perhaps. Another one we've seen is people sending out phishing emails, pretending to offer energy rebates, people trying to sell counterfeit shopping vouchers. So, just really do, if you get something offered for free that you're not expecting from a source you don't know, I think the best guidance is to view it with deep suspicion.
I'm really great that Citizens Advice is there for people to offer support as well.
That's absolutely right. So you can get in touch with our consumer service. That's on 0808 223 1133. So it's 0808 223 1133. And we also offer help from a Scams Action Advisor if you have been scammed online, and that's a different number, 0808 250 5050. But all of these numbers and a lot of advice can be found on the Citizens Advice website. So if you go on there, it tells you how to identify a scam. We've got a scam checker. You can find out how to check if you can get your money back and what to do if you've been scammed. So there's a load of useful advice on the website if you can access that, if you have got access to the internet.
Oh, it's a really important message and brilliant to speak to you. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
No problem. Lovely to talk to you.
Thalia Jervis, who is the Chief Executive of Citizen Advice Bucks, speaking to us here at Wycombe Sound.